You're talking to your dog, asking if they want to walk, and they do this. They cock their head sharply to the side. Welcome to PetSense. Today, we are breaking down the peer-reviewed veterinary research behind your dog's most endearing habit. When a dog strikes this pose, the natural human assumption is that they are confused. We tend to read the expression as a question, assuming they are trying to figure out what our words mean. This movement serves a specific physical purpose. It is a maneuver that allows the dog to better align their senses with yours. This behavior suggests that instead of being lost in the conversation, the dog is actively working to find clarity. To understand how they find that clarity, we have to look at the canine sensory toolkit. Dogs possess incredibly acute hearing, but compared to humans, their ability to determine the exact direction a sound is coming from is actually quite limited. Part of the problem is physical. Many breeds have thick, floppy ear flaps, called pinnae, that drain completely over the ear canals, acting as a direct physical barrier to incoming sound waves. By physically cocking their head, a dog shifts those ear flaps. This slight adjustment helps them judge the microsecond differences between a sound hitting the right ear versus the left, allowing them to pinpoint the exact location of the sound source. This diagram shows a dog's field of vision. A long muzzle creates a central blind spot, much like holding a fist before your nose. By tilting their head, dogs rotate this blind spot away, securing a clear view of your facial expressions. Because this is a structural workaround, brachycephalic breeds, dogs with flat faces, like pugs and bulldogs, do not actually tilt their heads nearly as often. They lack the long muzzle that blocks their forward sightline. Through these adjustments, the dog overcomes its own anatomical constraints to see and hear you with more precision. This effort extends into cognitive processing. Researchers at Etphos-Lorand University recently studied gifted word learners, dogs capable of learning and recalling the names of dozens of specific toys. They found that these gifted dogs tilted their heads 43% of the time when hearing a toy's name. The dogs are actively concentrating, working to match the spoken word to a visual memory stored in their brain. A secondary psychological mechanism reinforces this action, and it is driven entirely by us. When a dog tilts its head, humans almost always react with positive reinforcement. We smile, we change our tone of voice, we offer a pat on the head or a treat. The dog quickly learns that this specific physical posture yields a positive human response, so they repeat it to prolong the engagement. The modern head tilt operates as a combination of cognitive concentration and a behavioral feedback loop built over thousands of years of human-dog coevolution. However, this behavior operates as a clinical red flag under specific circumstances. An occasional head tilt in response to a sound or a spoken word is a perfectly healthy communication strategy. A persistent tilt that occurs in complete silence or remains stuck in an angled position indicates a medical problem. The most frequent medical culprits are infections of the external or middle ear. Bacteria and yeast build up in the ear canal, creating intense pain and itching that forces the dog to hold their head at an angle to find relief. This animated cutaway shows a severe neurological condition, vestibular disease. It affects the vestibular apparatus, the balance center within the inner ear. Since this system regulates spatial orientation, affected dogs display secondary signs like stumbling and rapid involuntary eye movements. If your dog displays a persistent tilt accompanied by any loss of balance or unusual eye flicking, schedule a visit with your veterinarian immediately. Understanding the exact mechanics of a normal head tilt empowers you to recognize when that same posture is a plea for medical help. Thanks for watching PetSense. If this helped you decode your dog's behavior, hit subscribe and join us next time as we dig into the surprising reasons behind destructive yard digging.